How good are you at valuing your time and making sure that the way you spend it or invest it is always giving you the biggest bang for your buck, and other special cheesy phrases related to time management? Now, time is one of those things where it's so easy to fritter it away, and it's so easy to not quite focus on it and to not really value the importance of it. And yet for me, time is without question the most valuable commodity that you'll ever have in your business, because it is the one thing you can never ever get more of. You can't repeat it or shrink it or stretch it or anything. You can't duplicate it. You can't get it back when it's gone. But we don't treat it with as much value or as respect very often as we do money or customers, or all sorts of other different things like that. So one of the biggest tips that I always give to my clients about time is to be absolutely brutal about it, because it is finite. It is without question a hugely valuable resource. When you are valuing your time, then you're likely to work a sensible number of hours and not find that work bleeds through 24 hours a day, 7 or 8 days a week. It's all about valuing your time. And the biggest way that you can do that is to be absolutely brutal about where you are spending your time. So my question to you would be, what is it that you do with your time which really isn't the right level of value? Things like spending ages on quotes and proposals that are really speculative, or going along to lots and lots of meetings because one day they might turn into business, but they are really, really speculative. These are the type of things where you can easily drain a day a week out of your business on the off chance that some of these things might turn into business. So it doesn't mean that you would never go to a speculative meeting and should never ever issue a quote or a proposal. But what it means is that it's well worth you analysing what's happening and looking at how often are you going to these meetings, how often are you spending time on quotes and proposals, and how much time are you spending on these things. And take a look for the trends. So when you're going to these meetings, the ones that turn into business, what's the commonality there? What are the signs or the flags that tell you this is a good prospect? Compared to what are the signs or the flags around the ones that don't turn into business? What are the trends around those people where the meetings are quite speculative? Because more often than not, when anything like that is happening in your business, there is a way to pin down the trends so that you can start to identify good opportunities versus very speculative or real tire kickers. And that allows you then to be a lot more brutal about the type of meetings that you go to or the type of people that you dedicate your time to. Now, you might also need to be brutal about things like, can I just pick your brains? Or people that quite regularly message you, let's say, through various social media channels, because we are incredibly accessible these days. But it's interesting how often when you give somebody a little snippet of help, they will send you another message and another message and another message, or they just phone you. You know, it might not be that often. It might be every couple of weeks. It might be once a month, but they're looking to pick your brains. So they basically want the advantages of all of the advice. They want all of your knowledge, and they don't want to pay you for it. And it seems like it's a friendly thing to do. It's a nice thing to do. It's a helpful thing to do, but it's really easy for, again, these people to drain an awful lot of time out of your business. So look for those instances where perhaps you allow other people to devalue your time so that you're not being as brutal with it as you could be, which doesn't, again, mean to say you should never have a conversation and never help anybody out with a little hint or a little tip. It just means that you need to have some boundaries in your own mind at least, so that, yes, you might help people out with a first query, but then after that, if somebody continually comes to you, then you need to work out a way to tell them that this is my entry-level product. If you want some more advice, I'll be more than happy to help you. You just need to sign up for X, Y, Z. And you need to direct them to one of your products so that you're valuing your time, and so are they. So get brutal with the can I just pick your brains things. And then quite similar is the classic, shall we just meet for a coffee? Or, shall we have a quick Zoom chat? Now, again, these things can be very productive. They may lead to things. They might lead to creating some really good relationships, some fantastic referrals. They might lead into clients or into business. But you can see that if you spend your time on speculative meetings, can I just pick your brain messages, and shall we just go for a coffee? By the end of the week, you've got no time left to do anything else. So my big piece of advice is that you should never feel you have to rule these things out completely. It's always your choice to do those things. And, you know, it shouldn't be the case necessarily that people will get zero advice unless they buy your service. But having clarity in your own mind about just how much advice and how much time that you're going to gift to people before you guide them to a paid service just means that you're valuing your time a lot more, and that they will value your time much more too as a result. So my big tip for you this week is to be really, really brutal on how you're spending your time, and watch out for those trends of the things that can drain your time before your very eyes, because time is such an incredibly valuable resource. So I hope that has been useful for you. I would love to hear from you in the feedback, how this resonates with you. What are your big kind of time stealers or time drains? Where do you perhaps give things away that you know is just giving a little too much away? And what do you think you can do about it? So love to hear from you in the comments. Please obviously feel free to to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and of course share this video with anybody else you think could benefit. Thank you.